Hello folks, it's Peter here on the 10th of April. Now, as I said, we were going to do these watercolour painting today. But I've had a bit of a disaster trying to film everything. It's very difficult with a phone, how to mount a phone for a start, to see over your head while you're painting. It's near nigh impossible. I used this contraption here, which is a piece of glass. I don't know if you can see it, but I could tape the phone to the glass, but I couldn't get the angles. Anyway, and also I did some watercolour. I thought I was videoing it. I pressed the press button to start, and guess what? It hadn't started, so you couldn't see what I was doing. So I ended up painting these things without the camera working. Anyway, the other conclusion is, I'm sorry to say, I was experimenting with this as well, with the oil, as I was explaining. I think I'll send you the lesson again about this piece of work here, how it was done later on. But I've decided I'm not going to teach you how to do watercolours because, as I said before, it's the hardest thing to do. And if you can do it, good luck. I've done watercolour. I've showed you some watercolours I've done in the past. I've only done mostly nudes, a female figure in watercolour when I was at the Mall Gallery. I used to belong to the Association of Watercolours Artists in London. And but anyway, it's too difficult to explain now to do watercolour. I suggest, if you really want to do watercolour, get on with it. Just to say, which might help you, I've got these watercolour paints here. I made a block of all the colorways that are in the palette. So I've mimicked those. There's 26 colors there. There's 26 colors there. And on this other palette, I've got a small palette here. I've mimicked those there. So those, for example, that blue there is that blue there, the first number 7. So I've numbered the colours according to what's on my palettes, like that. So if you want to do colours, I think the only way, nobody can teach you how to do, well, go to YouTube if you want to learn to do watercolours, but you have to practice. And I don't feel competent enough to teach watercolour. I can teach acrylics and gouache and oils, but I'm not going to teach watercolour because it's too difficult and I can't be bothered. But if you want to do watercolour, good luck. Start with nice colour brushes. I tell you what are very good is this. These are things that have just come out. It's a brush and it's got its own water container inside the brush. So you don't have to keep dipping. It's very good for going outside. You don't have to carry water with you. So you just squeeze and the water comes out while you're mixing the colours. So it's a great way of painting. And I've got 3 of those. I've got a thick one, a medium-sized one, and where's the other one? I've got another one somewhere. I can't tell you. Yeah, that's the thick one. That's the medium one. There's a thick one, medium one, and a thin one. So it's very good. If you can get those and start watercolour painting, it's up to you. But I can't get I can't get on. I just can't get on with it. It's too fiddly, and I could do it, and I will do some, of course, as I often do. I like doing different things. But if you want to do watercolour, go ahead and do it. But I'm not going to teach you because I'm not good enough to teach you. I know my limits. Bye.